All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 5, Episode 38. Oh my god.
Experience Requiem.
Requiem.
And it was a rock flung very quickly, not a laser.
Yes.
We know this now. Yeah.
But guys, we are at the end here. This is the climactic conclusion.
Yep.
Soon it'll be part 6 Never Brigade that will be, joining in with all you guys.
JoJo's hiatus. That'll be interesting.
That'll be a world that we'll live in.
But right now we are at the end, and we will stay at the end forever until Diablo is defeated.
Right.
Because, buddy, you ain't going nowhere.
I got you for as long as I want.
Yeah. Right. So,
for playtime. Yep. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Wait, backstory?
Oh, come on.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hey, yeah. It's a very natural thing to wonder.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Getting to see them all again. Oh my god. Oh. Yo. Oh.
Wait.
That was perfect. You know what it was like? It was basically being like the end of the episode.
Right,
we were getting
at
to
the
see
beginning.
it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because things are being done in reverse.
Sure, but also just the fact that, no, that's all there was to it, maybe. Like,
you'll never arrive at the truth. Oh. All right.
Well, see, and what's sad is that there's no one that'll be saying arrivederci.
Ah, that's true, yeah. Wakazare no kanji wo gakekesu rage akuma ni sumuku to shikatai kara ora fuga shumatsu ga umari no ga kite ikakata sutete idomo no se gold so sa me ni wa me o Yarimono ni wa Requiem mo. Wow, wow.
It almost feels wrong to have this here because Diablo is so defeated, and yet this part is so cool in the OP, you know?
I mean, like, maybe the fight could last another. This is different. This is different. Oh!
Yes!
Whoa!
Yeah, because it doesn't fit here anymore.
Bogatabaneku Sekai ni tachimukau Don't care Jihinado iranai Sakamera Korotoki Hinari Taganhateru Hell no! Ichamino no golden wind. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm really glad they did that. I'm really glad they did that because
yes, that was so good.
That was great. That was great.
Oh my god. Still alive, actually.
Yeah, in the water, that could be an issue because he could just. Yep.
The way Giorno is just unfazed at all, like not looking, just like looking at his stand, like, do we even have to worry?
There's that at least.
Wow. That's a really clever spot to hide. Was this intentional? Giorno just being like, no. I'm not done with you yet. Oh boy, you're really starting to lose it, kid.
Yeah. Oh! Did he already stab him?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, this is
Karma.
fitting.
Whoa.
This is Scar and the Hyenas.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah, you've been stabbed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Wow. Wow.
It was like, in some ways, almost Giorno might have, like, seen that this was coming. It was like, I don't need to do anything anymore.
This is one-upping Truck-kun. Yeah, did he, like, skip a crazy amount of time or something?
Oh, is he already dead?
Yeah, is he gonna get autopsied?
Yeah, he's dead already. Dude.
Wow. Did he skip past his own death or something?
No, this is just the curse in some ways of him losing in this way, and now he's stuck basically having to experience this in some. Oh. Oh, that sound effect. What? Okay, this is the work of Gold Experience Requiem at this point.
Yeah, I have questions.
Well, at this point, it's too over the top, and it's not leaning in his favor. So it has to be something that Giorno did.
No way.
He's going to be dying over and over and over again.
Wow. No.
Oh, so you didn't even know what it did? Oh my god. So he's going to die over and over and over again, but he won't experience traversing beyond death. Oh my god. Oh my god.
And then eventually he'll stop thinking?
An end with no end.
Wow. Oh man.
This is just cruel.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Everything in the environment that he sees could
absolute
be another
terror
source of
for the rest of his life.
His death and pain, his suffering. Yeah, we did it. Wow. Wow. Fate is theirs now.
Wait.
Yeah, exactly. Wait. What the hell? Just question marks. That we discussed this.
Huh.
Yeah, there are some people that eat cat, though.
So he's saying, based on this, we can determine that humans would actually taste gross because we eat meat. Yeah. I love it.
Oh,
I love it so much.
Good to see you. And this is right before Giorno shows up. Okay. And thus we bump into Giorno via Bucciarati.
モンサント広場で花屋をやってる片木さん。あなたは税金を払っていますか？今なんとあなたはこの国にいつも欠かさず正直に税金を払っていますか？もちろん払っています。税金をきちっと払っているのなら、警察や法を執行する場所。
Yeah, we're not for people like you. Right.
あなたは自分が想像している以上の借りを組織に作ることになる。王兵と思わないでください。ここから先はあなたと二人だけでお話をしたいのですが。話を続けるというのなら、彼らは私をとても信頼してくれているし、私も同様です。娘にボーイフレンドができたと私は妻から聞き知りました。何でも駆け出しの若い彫刻家とかで、それは良いのですが。その男が娘より年上にも関わる。娘がマンションの屋上からあいつの彫った妙な形の石を抱えた。
Oh shit.
中庭に。
Jesus.
娘は若い、美しさで輝いていました。あなたに娘の仇を撃っていただきたいのです。
Oh Jesus.
あの男に叱るべき報いを。警察はロクスポを調べようともせず、娘の飛び降り自殺と決めつけました。弁護士さえ。
Wow.
家族にだけわかることがあります。娘は決して自殺するような性格ではないのです。人生には辛いことも起こる。気の毒だが、
Wait a minute.
無理な話だ。あなたは我々が逆恨みのリンチをする殺し。
I think I have an idea as to what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not what either of them think.
花屋さん。さっきあなたは二人だけになりたいと言った。それはあなた自身、自分の話がとてもヤバいことと思っているからではないのか。しかしながら、家族だけに分かることがあるというその言葉、そのボーイフレンド、口を割らせるだけのことはやってみよう。その金は男が有罪と決まった時だけ払っていただく。それでいいですか？ブチャラティさん。
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, never mind. My theory is completely stupid.
So...
Mista.
Okay, I guess never mind. It's just fine. Show the face. I love that we're getting this little backstory bit here. Oh.
Okay. What's up here?
What is going on? So, is this just a entirely different stand user?
Well, what I'm wondering is this because of what Gold Experience Requiem did, maybe? Because that's what the episode's titled, so... Whoa!
Whoa.
Oh.
I am getting some vibes, dude. Of course, the paranoid one is the one that noticed everything, so they don't take him seriously. I love Mista. Just his outfit, his personality, it's so much fun.
Wait. Fugo taking care of that, not Bucciolati.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. This has got me. God, I love Mista. Oh, okay. Stand user, here we go.
All right.
Here we go. Oh, the thing in the ED! The thing in the ED! Sleeping slaves. Yo, okay. Okay.
This was
a really, really cool twist of an episode.
I understand why people probably wanted us to watch the last 2 episodes at the same time, because this is different.
Because the mystery about having what is kind of an episode 0 of sorts, by having it be a little bit of a kind of setup to what was probably the beginning of the part, but also in the context of a stand that warped fate and time and reality and all of what it is, specifically around Diavolo,
right?
So that he will constantly be thrust into situations where he is approaching death, where he is
again and
fated to die.
Yeah.
But he will never go beyond death. Like, he will experience the pain and the suffering and the anguish of that. Yep. But it will be eternal because he will never go past that point. Right. So it's a weird time loop, but it's not exactly how, most kind of fated death time loops happen, because it's completely different every single time. Like, there's no...
Right. It's just he's portaled to some completely random, seemingly other place or whatever. Like, at the beginning, the whole thing of going in, and then the drug addicts are there and they stab him.
Right.
That was very satisfying, karmic. It made sense, right?
Yep, absolutely.
The stuff after that, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Like, that just gets into weird territory. Like, the autopsy one, at the very least, it's like, there's some connection, potentially, even though why he's here, I don't know. But okay, he died, he's being autopsied, and for some reason he's conscious, even though he's aware, even though he's not able to move or anything.
Right.
Then later, it's just, he's somewhere else completely.
Right. I think the focus specifically with that one was that he was definitely dead, but because of the nature of them having stands or something like that, the residual spiritual energy was tethered to him, and it was just some phenomena, basically. But in this case, Gold Experience Requiem is one of the strongest stands we've ever seen.
Maybe the strongest.
I'd
be inclined to say the strongest.
Yeah, but in some ways, the only one we have to compare it to could also be, I would say, in some ways as strong. But the only reason why it's definitely not is because it had almost a little bit of a wild, chaotic nature to it, which was, Silver Chariot Requiem. So in that respect, Requiem stands are just a nature above stands in general.
And as far as, like, okay, I love Polnareff, right? But Silver Chariot wasn't anything particularly special, right? Even though it did have armor. Right. So the fact that it's Requiem was that crazy. Then take with that something like Gold Experience, which
was already a pretty strong stand.
Already a pretty strong stand and a pretty janky stand. Like, even among JoJo's stands, like actual JoJo characters, like, that was pretty janky. So then making it a Requiem on top of that, of course it'd do whack stuff that you wouldn't be able to predict, right? Yeah. Totally get it.
In some ways, it kind of feels like it was the perfect evolution of Giorno's whole thing of, I have a dream,
right?
And yet he can turn that into a weapon and point it and lock someone in in a nightmare, basically, and be like, I have a dream of a brighter future, and you're not in it,
right?
So it's kind of terrifying to think that Giorno's going to, one, not consciously wield this power, which I actually really like, because then Giorno could become a tyrant. Like, just that much power is almost a bit too much. Well, so the fact that Araki like made it so that he doesn't know exactly what he did, means that he can't actually necessarily will it onto someone yet. Like, that's not even a thing he can necessarily do at this time.
Well, and also it just makes it easier for it to be weird, because how can you... It's hard to actively choose to do something if you don't know what it is that you're doing, you know?
And it probably is just so grand scale that it would break his human brain to be able to understand the mechanisms and concepts of what is being done.
But as for how this... But that... Gold Experience Requiem is the only explanation that I can come up with as for why we are having this different in the past thing going on here, right?
Okay. So,
like, is there anything else you can think of?
I have some theories. So, here's some things in which Gold Experience Requiem is an impetus to this, but it is not Gold Experience Requiem's power that is making this happen, if this makes sense.
Okay.
So, it is an auxiliary effect. It is a secondary repercussion of the power being used. If Giorno basically broke some internal mechanisms of the universe.
Right.
What I think they're just setting up is the idea that there is a world line. And this is a weird way to look at it, but I kind of like this, because this is the only really happy ending we can get, is that there's a world line where Giorno won't end up joining the group.
Sure. So, or even if he does... Maybe they don't need to go on this adventure to kill Diablo or whatever.
Like, sure. But basically, there's an alternate universe, reality, what have you, where everything's going to turn out Diablo.
Sure.
And instead of it being the boss, they use this other stand, which they're bringing up the idea of bad luck. You know, it was written on the stone.
Oh.
Bad luck.
Okay.
So, what if it's something with regards to a yin and yang situation where now some aspect of the universe's, causality in a negative sense is rebounding towards the Joe Bros in an alternate universe, and if anything, they'll then bump into maybe Giorno or something, and Giorno will already have Gold Experience Requiem or something, and he'll just end the whole thing for them. And they'll be like, oh, that's cool. But it spirals maybe even in more out of control, where that creates then another rebound, which has to keep going. So this is just a story about how Giorno tapped into something primal, became a god. Well, no, his stand became a god. And now there's some eternal, just wonderful adventure where you have the gangsters, the gangstars, just kind of enjoying each other's company, fighting off stand users and craziness for all of time and space. And I mean, that's the happy ending. That's how we get to have all 6 of them living together.
I wouldn't have an issue with that.
And then we have Prime World Line, which continues on with Trish, Mista, and,
Yeah, because,
that's my crackpot, theory.
This episode just kind of makes my brain hurt because it's the second to last episode. Well, think about it this way.
It's actually the last episode. Because this was all supposed to be together.
Yeah. Right. But the point is that it's not if something like this were to happen in the middle of the show, I'd understand that, right? It's it's a random thing that's happening, and it's a
stand
weird.
encounter.
It's a stand encounter,
right?
But eventually, it's all going to get kind of wrapped up and then go back to the way things were. Given the fact that it's happening at the end, makes me think that's not going to happen. That this is the actual world line that we're on, or whatever.
I believe that. I could see that happening.
But if that's the case, what is the reason for it jumping to this? Because if it's something that's completely different, right? Then in order to still have that satisfying ending, we need to see either where the characters that were still alive at the end, Trish, Mista, Giorno, where they were in that other world line, or we need to have the world lines bridge in some way in my mind.
Or this is the simplest explanation, and this is the one that I kind of want it to be, which is this is just the beginning of part 5. This is just the beginning of part 5 told at the end. And it's thematically appropriate because we had the whole rewind time,
but it's different now.
No, it's not. It's not. Nothing about this nothing about this directly contradicts what we've seen thus far.
Okay.
No.
Right, but there's a point where it seems like it could be because
Fugo
Fugo is
investigating does not mean that he's going to bump into Giorno. All that is just investigating the cause. That just means he goes to the airport. Giorno and Bruno don't meet at the airport.
That's true.
So all of this is potentially just simply episode 0.
Okay.
And in some ways I kind of want it to be that, because maybe what they'll do, the only kind of janky stuff with Gold Experience Requiem, is that Giorno will at some point, when he like uses his stand in a like very specific way, will have this moment where he kind of goes, and he looks around and he sees everyone at the table and he goes, oh.
Sure.
And that'll be
right.
And
and from a narrative sense, like not from the whatever puzzle this is or things like that,
because it's probably not super complicated.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. You know, it's not like it could be some reincarnation of Diavolo thrown through time or something like that, but assuming that they don't do that, and probably not, given that there's only one, episode left.
Yeah.
I could see it being something where it's let's recap where everyone was at the beginning of the show. That way you can know exactly why this ending is important, what it ties up, and even though a bunch of them are dead and things like that.
But it's also cathartic. We get to see them all together, and I think it's a thing to show how much they were changed by Giorno joining the group.
Right.
Like there were little things that I thought were really cool here. One was the care that Bucciarati showed to Narancia to be like, hey, regardless of what you may think, don't say that kind of stuff out loud. Remember the world that we're in. Basically saying, yeah, I know. I want to be a capo too. I would love to take over the gang.
Yeah.
But I can't even tell you guys that because, we don't have any kind of capacity within that. So we're going to continue being good people.
Right.
Ish.
Yeah. But talk like that can get you killed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a cathartic way to show all the characters together.
Yep.
But it's also a fun way to tie things back to the beginning. And this is where my dumb theory might come into play here if they decide to do this.
Uh-huh.
Because of the whole thing with Giorno's desire to stop the drug selling things to kids and stuff like that being a huge part of things here, I thought before the stand kind of stuff was brought up that this was going to be a dark story about how, no, my daughter would never commit suicide.
Oh.
But no, she was actually extremely addicted to drugs.
Right.
And she did commit suicide, but it wasn't that she knew what she was doing. It wasn't intentional in that regard. It was actually that she got into the drugs because of the boyfriend.
Sure. The daughter you knew may never have done that, but that wasn't the person
that
she
wasn't
was
the
by
person
the end of it.
that died at the bit there. Yeah. And that it's a thing of where, no, she didn't commit suicide and she did. And I was like, oh, that's the dark way that they could have this go.
Right.
And it would be the reason why when Giorno brings up the idea of this being something so important, Bruno was like, yes, this is the moment. This is the time. It's like fate, if you will, that we should bump into each other right after this stand encounter that brought up that
right. And that would have been a very bittersweet way to be able to do it, because then Bruno would have to basically return to the dad and be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He didn't actually really do it, so I couldn't in good conscience actually kill him.
Right. But what would be cool is if he then goes, but I will avenge your daughter. And he takes the bag of money. And then
wait, that's not, I wanted you to avenge her in a very specific way. Okay, well, all right, fine, take the money back, but don't worry.
Or we could go for the more like best boy, like, Bruno move where he's like, keep the money. I'll avenge your daughter. Don't worry. And then you see, the
and then
back
he turns
of the head,
with a pose.
Right. But then he like as the guy's like leaving or something, he sees the back of the head of a golden-haired child of destiny walking through, and he's like, who's that? Whatever. And then he continues on or something. I want to go back though and look through the early episodes, because I was getting the vibe that I had seen the character design for the dad before.
Yeah, the focus, like when he was in the other room, the camera was focusing on him in a way that made me think that I should recognize this guy. Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't think I've seen this guy before.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the deal? What's the sitch? You know? Yeah. But I guess it'll become a lot more clear next episode.
Yeah, I'm really excited now for next episode because they're breaking the fundamental formula that they've done thus far with JoJo part finales.
A very well established formula. So like and to break the mold in such a strong way, there would, you would think be an equally strong reason as for why, which is very exciting.
Yeah. I think it's because Araki has gotten better and better at creating found family dynamics for his casts of main characters.
Yeah.
So part 5, he really nailed the oddball group of oddballs. Right. And, or oddball group of broken people, if you will. And with them all finally being able to be seen together after such a harrowing adventure, we now get to see, maybe instead of an epilogue at the end of the part, we get to see the prologue at the end of the part.
Sure.
And it would be a cool way to be like, no, you can loop this. You can rewatch all of part 5 now. Go do it. You know? I think that could be a cool way to look at it, where it has nothing to do with all the cool, like, actual time loopy, timey-wimey, fate bending, reality warping god stands and stuff. But I mean, who knows? We've got crazy theories. We'll see what happens in the next episode.
One of the other things that I was really curious about, if there was some kind of reality being broken situation going on with Gold Experience or whatever, is how does that change things for future JoJo parts? Because since we basically went Jonathan, Joseph, and then Jotaro, and then we went sort of reverse back up the chain, right? Yeah, then we went Josuke, and then we got Giorno, through Dio, right? That whole thing.
Sure.
Then essentially it's like, okay, we have a new train that we can go down as far as lineage to explore and things like that. But if there is some crazy weird time muckery or whatever for the JoJo verse, what does that mean?
I think what it is, it's actually something more related to the fact that we have actually slowed down the flow of time with regards to the parts progressing. So instead of jumping necessarily, 20 years ahead, we jumped a few years ahead.
Right.
And we see Jotaro now an accomplished marine biologist.
Indeed.
And instead of jumping then crazy far ahead to, see like Koichi as like an adult, it's Koichi as a young man.
Right.
But no, it's still like 2000 or something like that at this point.
Probably somewhere around there. Yeah.
So in this case, what we could do is then just keep it in that flow where we're just moving ahead a few years. So then all these characters in the cast could then keep bumping into each other.
We theoretically have a point where all like 15 or whatever, well, a lot of the characters in this part died, but where like a lot of the characters from the different parts sort of just end up together. Like that would be crazy.
Yeah, I would love to see a JoJo Avengers assemble, kind of moment.
We kind of got that with Polnareff. Like
that was pretty close.
Yeah.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the final episode's reaction for part 5 of JoJo's right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. You can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yep. Battle Lines. You know it. You love it. It's on Amazon. If you're interested, link is in the description. Go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.